What's up? What's up? What's up? This your girl CC, and I got my co-host.
Oh yeah, Mickey Monday. I'm here, present.
And it's Tuesday. What's going on, Mickey Mike?
Not much, just still quarantining in the house pretty much like everybody else, you know what I'm saying? So, just doing what I can, keeping myself occupied, writing music, learning music theory, getting certifications for, for work and stuff like that. So, I'm just trying, like I said, trying to keep myself busy.
That's what's up. Well, I got my boy, my homeboy. What's up? Bleed. We got him on the
Hey, what's up with
building
y'all?
today. What's up, young Bleed?
Yeah.
I'm chilling, enjoying some of this good weather for a change out here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Wow, the legendary up in here.
Right.
Woo, you've been in the game forever.
Yeah, damn near, more than half of my life, since a kid, and still at it. So yeah, it's a good thing.
Okay, how you been, my brother?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Doing what my man said we doing, quarantining out here. I'm on the 700 block out here in Louisville with my bros, man. So, we all stay by each other. So, we meet and greet like sellers in the morning. So we out here blowing some good shit, enjoying this good win for a change,
Well, it's nice to see your face. I ain't seen you in a minute. You forgot about your girl over here in the A.
Yeah. Nah, I've been traveling around this great country. I was trying to figure it out. I come up here on a couple of shows between here and Cincinnati, and that the corona jumped off, and I kind of got stuck stagnant, when they shut everything down. Where I'm from, Louisiana, it's real, it's a whole nother world between that and Texas. So where I was headed from here, it kind of shut down for me. So I just stayed posted for a minute and started doing some work out here with my guys, you know what I mean? Getting it in.
Okay, well, I know Mickey Mike got some questions for you. Mike, what you got for him?
Yeah, I got a couple questions because you just said you was doing touring, right, before you got caught up.
Yeah, man. I was, a few spot dates of my own. Then I was a part of that No Limit tour, man. We was rekindling, so all that stopped, all that.
Okay, yeah, that's what's up. It's funny you said that because I had a question about No Limit because I'm a '90s baby, so I grew up during that era, but I wasn't old enough to really get fully immersed in the music because the content was too above my head at the time. You know what I'm saying? But being a part of No Limit,
yeah, man.
Yeah, being a part of No Limit, how was it tense being in New Orleans at the same time with Cash Money Records coming up? How was that dynamic between the two of y'all since y'all were like neighboring labels coming up at the same time?
Really three-dimensional for me because I'm from Baton Rouge, really. So, you know what I mean? I'm raised, my pop's from Ninth Ward, New Orleans, so I always had the best of both worlds growing up. But the evolution of us was the concentration camp for us, Baton Rouge, that connected into No Limit. But P, I want to say his evolution started definitely between California and New Orleans. So I think in the time of Cash Money coming up, and I know all these guys, we all bros. So I remember Baby and them still being there. They always was there. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I think No Limit was to go and have international success before Cash Money would. But it was like, in one sense, top dog for the commercial in the streets and underdog. So that's how you kind of, I don't want to call it a comparison, but two different times, and like I say, Cash Money was already doing their thing. Rest in peace to Magnolia Short and, the whole evolution of Cash Money. Shouts out to UNLV and the guys that, the world know the Hot Boys, but we knew Cash Money, when Soulja Slim was Magnolia Slim. You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
That part. So they was already doing their thing, but P and them got the international success for the corporate world, I believe, and having those two dimensions between the West Coast and the South when Cash Money was more, straight New Orleans based, and I'm Baton Rouge based. So yeah,
okay.
3 dimensions.
Okay, yeah, that's what's up because with the relationship you had with P and like the concentration camp and just working with No Limit as a whole, how's your relationship with them still? You still close with the concentration camp?
Pretty much. Maybe I say this, me and C-Lo hadn't talked, over 2 decades, so we never could sort out our NWA's, you know what I mean, situation for us, him being the CEO of the company, I'm being the founder of the concentration camp. So I birthed the clique on his label. That was my homie and DJ when we was kids. So we grew together, being the heads of it, and shouts out to Lee Time, you know, as far as the forefathers of what C-Loc Records was. And then eventually we birthed the clique, the concentration camp.
Okay.
But we hadn't spoken. We had, you know, reconciled our differences. But pretty much everybody else, man, Max Pinelli been in and out over the years. And I talk to Happy Perez every now and again. You know, Lucky Knuckles is my brother. Everybody else that kind of left the camp became Corleone family with me. So we all still the same, you know what I mean?
That's what's up. Totally. So, and then, you know, since you say you kind of birthed Concentration Camp on his label, but then I know a couple years ago, you started Trapdoor Entertainment. So do you have any products in the work with, because I know you got a couple artists signed to that label, so are they still working with you? Do they have anything that you can share with us?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I dropped my most recent to date album the end of last June called What a Life, you know what I mean? It's available everywhere on all the social media sites. But my son, Taj Rahman, he's a hip hop and an R&B artist, so he stays doing his own record, sort of say, but he got a lit texture of both. So his page, I forget what exactly it is, but you know, our website together for us, the label is www.trapdoor, since at least 2017 or something. I put out 2 phenomenal solo records that star-studded OG bunch, you know, West Coast, down south, you name them. But, you know, what I recognize, a lot of people don't know they exist, you know, the way the game is nowadays. So that whole part, yeah, I'm letting, instead of giving them a whole plate of food, we teaspoon feeding them again, pitching these singles out, seeing what catch on. And of course, you know, trying to reach the supply and demand, man. So that's what we always work with videos, the whole nine. I got work with my guys out here in Louisville. So everywhere I go, man, you know, it's a crew of guys that I work with and female rappers alike. So Trapdoor Entertainment, you know, I mean, it's Baton Rouge based, but at the same time, worldwide. I'm working on the record in Russia right now. So, you know, expect the unexpected, man, the years to come. Yeah, man.
Oh, look at the exclusive up in here. Right. I was just about to ask you, so what do you think is missing in the rap game nowadays? You know, from back in your time to today's rap game.
A lot of the pieces are still there, but far as with everybody complaining, the young and the old and the new rap and all that, I feel like it's a connection. And the bridge broke on the in between. I feel like, you know, just like life, music is ever changing. So, you know, I'm pretty much with what's happening, but you know, it's a lot of ways I could break into that. I'm glad asking, you know, the youngsters keeping up with it. I feel like I'm a perfect medium. I ain't too young, I ain't too old. You know, it existed before me. I came on the great in between this generation of like 23 years. So that's a blessing. So like I say, I try to bridge that gap, try not to look at what's missing, but I hear everybody complaints here and there, and it always kind of been like that. So I remember Jay-Z saying one of the greatest things I heard that they was comparing him to Lil Wayne at the time when Wayne was Lil Wayne at the time was saying, you know, the truth is, you know, we fight for this invisible MC crown, but the truth is it's based on the people and opinion. So it's all about that. You can't tell people what to like and what not to like. What I might like, the next person might not. You know what I mean? And vice versa. So that's how I look at it, man. I try to keep this going on and iron out the wrinkles. You know, I was once told you don't get rid of a road rock because it got a dent in it. You just get rid of the dent. You hear me?
Yeah, that's real.
All right, now just get rid of the dent. So who's one of your favorite artists then from today's rap game?
New artists.
Yeah.
This the thing about that. A lot of the new artists, I love what they doing. I could be in the club having me a couple of drinks and I'm bobbing my head. But sometimes I'm confused on who it is. And that's what a lot of talking to us about. You know, we was the 80s guys on up into us had a certain identity, a voice on the mic. Everybody didn't sound the same. So that's what the problem is. I can't distinguish. I can tell you a lot of records. If you play them and say them to me, I'll tell you, yeah, I did record. I like the Baby and what it is, Baby and the Baby. You see what I'm saying?
Little Baby and Baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Gates got some new music that's jamming. You know what I'm saying? You know, my family, so they always keep something cracking. I'm trying to think of who brand new. You know, the funny thing about it and the sad thing about it is these new artists, you know, rest in peace, to Nip, rest in peace to what's the guy, the Triple X guy in Florida, the little guy up in Chicago, you know, Pop Smoke and all them. So as soon as I catch on to them, they leaving the world at a drastic pace. So I thought it was about making it out of this shit, you know, coming back and you know, helping people and uplifting your family and bringing people, giving them jobs and opportunities. But as soon as they get to the success, these young cats are dying. And, you know, but, you know, what I learned from a block to the record block, you know, a lot of older cats know how to kind of stay out the way. Spice One said it the best back in the days. He say, oh, geez, they could tell when the Taz hit, New Jack try to run and get their ass split. And it's the 9 ain't shooting blanks. It's a cop who had a fucked up day and a little drink, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that part of it, a lot I loved. I love Lil Snoop and all that. That's just not here no more. You know what I mean? These guys in here past years old. You know, the youngsters where we from say, you know, 25, you consider the OG where I'm from. So thank God, you know what I mean? I'll be 46 years old next month. You know what I mean? Woo! I don't go live to see grandchildren and all that in days. I ain't think I'd be here coming from them same sections as far as Baton Rouge and New Orleans and all around the country because I go ghetto to ghetto. I'm in the heart of on the south side of Louisville, Kentucky, right now on the 700 block. You know what I mean? It's gang. You know what I mean? So I'm still street rooted, penitentiary rooted, man, you know, and just political figures that I deal with as a whole. Just for us, you know, first and foremost, the Black connection and Indian indigenous connection and, you know, Mexicans alike, you know, anybody in the struggle. So, you know, I'm all about the unity in the community. So I don't like that part of the game, man. Everybody look like once they become millionaires, they become gangbangers or gangsters or grand kingpins and all this murder play. I mean, we could have stayed in the hood for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's my discrepancy far as the game and just, you know, the whole thing and just, you know, young artists, but it opened me up, you know what I mean, like a Pandora's box. There's a lot of ways you know what I'm saying? The music is one thing, but I like to see them stay out here. I used to tell Boots and them that in the beginning. You know, stay out the bullshit, stay away from that. I want to see you successful. But to see all the other shit, I hate that for us as Black people, the young generation as a whole. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I got another question for you. I know you got some books out. I want you to tell me about your books you got.
Really, I got one book that's published. It's called The Making of Preserve. In 2009 or 10, I had the honor and pleasure of signing with Strange Music. Really was Strange Lane for me, which was a subsidiary label to Strange, you know, with Tech Nine, those guys over there in Kansas City. I did one album. I stayed around two or so years, did a nice tour with those guys and put out an album called Preserve. So that book, called The Making of Preserve, and it was in the time I shared with Tech Nine and those guys in Strange Music, and I did an album was called Preserve. So it really break down what each one of those songs is about. So anybody that, you know, interested in a good read and a music read, yeah, check that out. Eventually, I'm gonna do me like an autobiography or something like that. You know, shouts out to song.
What's your book at?
Okay, Amazon.com. It's available all day, and as well as on my website, trapdoorent.biz, and that's spelled straight out, no slang words. But biz is spelled B-I-Z. So trapdoorent.biz. Yeah, all day.
Perfect.
Okay, I think Mike got some more questions for you.
Yeah, I did, and it's interesting how things are just falling into place because you mentioned that you was with Tech Nine and did with Strange Music, and I know you guys did an updated version of your single from your first album. How you do that, right? So I noticed there's a lot of artists in the industry that you know have listened to your album and have heard that song and they've kind of sampled it or interpolated it into some of their tracks. So, you know, just looking back at your first album, did you think that my All I Have Is My Balls and My Words would be as timeless and impactful as it is today? Because even some of the subject matter in the songs, you know what I'm saying, you could see a lot of that stuff happening today, even with the coronavirus and stuff like that going on too. So that's what I wanted to ask.
I always try to see shit from a lyrical standpoint to stay fresh and current and here and now situation, you know what I mean, in a prophetic sense. I had a good feeling making that music, but I had no idea that we'll be talking about this, and like I say, going into a third decade about that particular album, how you do that to me and not toot my own horn or whatever the case might be. But if not, it's one of the most duplicated, you know, rather some form of literature out of it, and definitely the beat, hip hop songs all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now the very words you started with, timeless. Now I couldn't imagine on God what it'll do after all this time. I knew it'd be a good record, but where to go and how far to carry me. I do shows actually to this day, and I could spring a lot of new music on people. You know what I mean? We're talking about the couple albums I did, and people like, you still make music? Yeah, man. You know, the game didn't change. If it's not in the stores, out of sight, out of mind, people don't think you exist. But anywhere I go, I have to perform that song. You know what I mean? And the world know the remix version. You know what I mean? Meet P and Low. And,
Right.
you know, southern region and other parts of the country then caught on to, you know, my solo version. I could spring that song in the show, and by the second verse, they lost unless I'm close to home somewhere. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's phenomenal as it get, man, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
You know, you're still a legend in the game, man. So, you know, as much as, you know, we try to, you know, try to stay away from referencing your first album, because I know you have other projects out too. Like you have a second solo album with No Limit. Like I said, that album is so prolific. And my cousin is actually a big fan of No Limit Camp as a whole. And he was one of the first artists that, you know, he listening to your album, that was just some inspirational words for him to kind of, you know, go through life during that time of his age. But
yeah, man.
Just moving forward as far as looking at the future, because you referenced some of the favorite, you know, some of the artists that you listen to that are out now that are younger age.
Yeah.
What kind of words of wisdom or advice would you give other aspiring artists that are breaking into the music, or that would like to break into the music industry?
First and foremost, man, I always say let go and let God, man. Keep God in your reference in every aspect of life. Especially, you know what I mean, if you plan to be successful, you're looking for a positive, you know what I mean, successful life and career, I always insinuate that. Family first and business, you know what I mean? Stay rooted. I tell anybody that's friend enough to me, you know, we close enough and we breaking bread and we know each other over time, you well as family. So, you know what I mean? God first, family and business, man. And learn your craft, learn this business, you know, read these books, you know, everything is on the internet now. But educate yourself toward this game and this business. You know, when I come in it, you know, he told me, Bleed, you know, this is 10% talent and 90% business. I had to say, man, that's the respect they got for the talent. I felt offended being a born artist. You know, I knew how to make music before I knew the music business. You know what I mean? So you know, I tell all them that, you know what I mean? I kind of got the game backwards, you know what I mean? Where the talent was there, but what to do with the talent, how to protect the talent, how to get paid for it, reap the benefit. Right. Learn that part of the game. That's more important. So I learned to respect the 90% business and the 10% talent. I tell guys this, you could be the dopest rapper, DJ, producer, promoter in your back room. If your mama don't know it, then your brother don't know it, and your neighbor don't know it, out of sight, out of mind. You see what I'm saying? So the power of marketing and promotion, you know what I mean? And advertising is everything. So learn what you got to learn, you know, master the game, you know, get your benefit, reap the benefits one day.
Okay.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Well, you
that
know,
really hit home for me, but go ahead.
You know, you know, you need to be a motivational speaker.
Look, let me say this. A lot of people tell me that. A lot of people actually we do this. I'm a part of a podcast station. Shouts out to H-Town and Banging 832 Radio. I do actually tonight. I'll be on what that is, 6 Central Time, 7 East Coast Time. I do we do, and shouts out to High Risk and Southern Belle over there. They made me a partner with them. And me and Belle, she made me a part of her show to where we do New Music Tuesdays and bring all the up and coming artists, underground artists come through that night and play their music, you know, along with everything else for an hour. And on Thursday, we do Throwback Thursday night, bring all the OGs, you know, shouts out to Big Mike,
awesome.
Cujo Goody, just recently, you know what I mean? OG Spook from Rap A Lot. So, you know, I'm real rooted, real tough in H-Town, family-wise and otherwise. So I do that throughout the week, just, you know, creating these plateaus to be able to speak and go beyond just hearing me on record. So it's something that they gave me a test run at. and the people accepted it. So, you know, that's something I'm trying. And you know, I speak at elementary schools, different parts, you know what I mean, of the country, and I'm hood to hood, man, the ghetto near you, you know what I mean? So I always say underground up. So anywhere where I could tell anybody something good, like, you know, rest in peace to the pimp, say tell somebody something good, you know, I'm all open to that everywhere, all around the country and throughout the world.
Okay. Well, before we get off, we do this WIB trivia that we're doing. So okay. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So if you had to quarantine for 24 hours with one of these three people, tell me which one you would pick. Would it be Dennis Rodman, 6ix9ine, okay, or Trump? Which one would you choose?
I have to go with old Dennis on that, man. We'll have to get.
And why? You gotta explain to me why. Why you pick him out of them three?
I mean, as wild as Dennis was back in the day with the color hair and all that, he more closer to the ground than I feel like the other two candidates are, and to my nature. You know, we sit there kicking and talk about old Bulls game, Michael Jordan, and all that type of thing. The other two guys I cannot relate to at all. Please believe me.
You can't relate at all.
At all. Yeah, I can't do none of that, man. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you. Thank you for coming and interviewing with us.
I appreciate y'all having me. You too, bro. Much love, respect, success, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. It's an honor.
As a matter of fact, you know, I was supposed to be there last month. We rescheduling the show in Macon, Georgia, due to the quarantine and everything. That stopped that show. That was one of the dates I was talking about. So shouts out to my man Black Larry down there in Macon, Georgia. He always bring me through once, twice a year. So soon as this clear up and he get a new venue, yeah, we're gonna match forward and I'll keep y'all included. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, brother. Mike, do you have anything else for him?
I mean, man, you've given me so much in such a little short time. I really appreciate it, man, to be a part of this experience and to, you know, to be in front of somebody, you know, that's been a part of the game for so long, and still you sound humble, just like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just on the street for real. You're not even, you know, in superstardom or like, you know, some people are just inaccessible. So I'm humble, and I'm really, you know, really grateful that I was able to.
With about 15 guys. I couldn't turn the camera because, you know, we had the disconnection. But yeah, right outside the block. Yeah, I'm in the heart of like I say, 700 block, Georgetown, Southside, Louisville, Kentucky, man. Shouts out to the boys in Newburgh and the West End, you know, and this blood cripple like out here, man. So yeah,
wow.
Yeah, I'm part of it. I'm always in the hood where it's good, homeboy. I thought you knew. You heard me?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, you know I'm your sister over here. Make sure you keep in touch. And
much
you
love
stay
for
safe
life,
out
man.
there. Be blessed.
Yeah, you know that. Y'all do the same. And here again, much love to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hold it down.
Hold it down.
All right.
Love.
All right.
Definitely much love. Yeah.